Hi Rohit, welcome to Beyond the Spotlight with Priyanka.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for having me. I'm super excited to do this.
How does people that we surround ourselves with impact our mood, our energy? How can we observe our surroundings and maybe make a change in the surroundings, the people that we hang out with, to make a shift in our lives?
It's an external work, to surround yourself with the right kind of people. There is a very famous saying that you are the average of 5 people or 10 people you hang out with. You hang out with a bunch of complainers, guess what, you will be one.
Manifestation, a very important topic. A lot of people have already said and made a lot of videos about this. I would love to hear your perspective on manifestation. How can people attract whatever they want in their life? Because I know people can attract whatever they want in their life.
The way I see it is, I see it as a cheat code in existence. What is manifestation? It's your ability to create something out of nothing. Before you start the practices, there are so many ground games that you have to set. What I say is not the reality. What you experience is the reality for yourself. There are thousands of people who are talking about manifestation, but is it working for everybody? No.
Hi Rohit, welcome to Beyond the Spotlight with Priyanka. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for having me. I'm super excited to do this.
Okay, I am excited too because vibration, energy, intuition, all these are very nice topics that are close to my heart. And I really wanted my audience to understand what these concepts are. So, to give a little background to our audience, what do you do?
So, I'm not doing one thing, I'm doing like three, four things at the same time. And I really love to keep it that way because it helps me, tap into different sides of me. One thing I do is I do a dance style called krump. I've been doing that for more than 10 years. And I do a lot of different things with krump. I do some production, I travel, I teach, I do events. I'm very recently, like in the next month, I'm doing an event called Nature Buck. It's a retreat. We will talk more about that. Then I do some rap. I make music. And this is like a very recent thing that has started in me that I really, became more passionate about and serious about making music. So that is happening. I have a few projects lined up for me. I'm also a life coach. I work with people like mindset and movement area. I help them, reach to a higher potential or a better space that they're looking forward to when they involve in an engagement. It could be like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, depending on what it is. I also work a job in IT in a company called Wipro for a bank in London. And I'm working in cybersecurity where I help people like enterprise level network. I try to save them from threats and attacks and hackers, So we work in that space as well. So all these different areas I work. And then, yeah, these are the things that I can say that I do in life. And I'm very passionate about personal growth and self-actualization. That is what runs my life, and that's what makes me do all these different things and how I do it. So yeah, man, just when I heard about this podcast, it's super great. I'm super great that I could do this at this place and put my voice out in this way.
Thank you. So you look like a very energetic person. Like, was this always the case, or you shifted something inside to really become the version that you are today?
I think uh, growing up, I had my challenges as everybody else, and I had to build certain things like communication or being more confident or developing self-esteem or being good at relationships or working on different areas. And that's what I think helped me to become who I am in any ways. Like you would see it a certain way, like I see it a certain way. So so yeah, just like I think it's just the experiences that we have, and experiences would tell you that okay, what work you need to do in what area, and when you do that work, I think, things work, things change, you change.
So have you like figured everything out yourself, or you took some help from some coach? Like
Ah,
coaches help you shift energy, or
yeah.
maybe you saw watched some videos.
Hmm.
Like, is there anything that you did differently to really shift that energy?
Hmm. It's a combination of all of them, what you said. It's, me personally taking ownership and trying to look out for help, uh, maybe not just in terms of therapy or coaching. That came later in my life, but initially it was looking for a video that can motivate me in something, in one area. So understanding the psychology of things, so that really pushed me initially. But as I grew in life, I realized, like, having a life coach or a mentor or therapist in your life, these are really powerful things. And the thing which I was talking about, rapping, me making music, I was not really satisfied with my music. I would always judge myself, my music, and say that, oh, this is not good, I need to do better. I'll put like a higher standard, and then I'm never able to meet that standard, right? So those kind of blocks, uh, I took help from my mentor, my coach, who helped me break that thing for me, and they helped me see who I truly am and what I can create. And from there, those kind of changes came. So it's a combination of many things. And just to answer your last part, if I did something different in the journey, I there are a few things I can say. One thing would be to adapt the mindset of the people I look up to, right? Adapt the work ethic of the people I look up to in places where I'm struggling, right? So if I have to make music, I have to look at the person I look up to in music, how they work every day. Do they do it like part time? They do it full time? Do they have discipline? Do they have how many songs they record? So I have to take those mindsets and just replicate that mindset, irrespective of the challenges or the discomfort I face. That has been like one thing I would do. I think traveling has really helped me a lot in understanding different people and different mindset. So that has also, some very simple ways, I think simple but different ways which can change.
If I talk about being positive, you are focusing on different areas at the same time, so you need a lot of positivity to really keep doing those things. So how do you look at life? How do you stay positive?
um I feel like it's a myth that we have to stay positive all the time. uh, I don't think it's practically possible to experience or will or wish to experience one emotion constantly, right? We should be open to experiencing all kind of emotions. And when I say that, I also want to say that I am not always positive, right? I am not um, uh, all the time, in a bed of roses where I'm just always nice and high energy. Sometimes I go in different kind of energies, and I notice that when I'm put in pressure situations, like leading a project or leading something big, and when I get into places of chaos, I see how I react to it. That's when I see myself, like, even though I talk about all this stuff, good stuff, but then there are moments when I'm not able to really tap into the full positive side of that situation, because I in that moment I see it as negative, or maybe I doubt myself, right? So the good part is that I'm very observant in all these moments. I create a space from myself and look at myself, that what's happening to me. In a moment of chaos, if I feel doubt, I say that, okay. So I think the first thing is to be aware of what's happening to you, not get lost in that. If you have a negative emotion, not become the negative emotion. Try to create a little space from it to observe, okay, this is happening, accept it the way it's happening, right? And then, depending on what the situation is, you see that how can you find your way out of that negative vibrational space to a positive, a little more better space, right? So what you said, how I do it, that the recent one, if I notice that when I went into a space of doubt, the way I said is that, okay, I was noticing that, okay, I'm constantly going in this space. How do I come out of it? And I had to speak to a friend of mine, right? And, and a close friend who I really trust, with who I am. He knows me, how I handle things. So he told me that, okay, Rohit, you're doing this, this, and this. It's not cool, because my friends keep me accountable for at a higher standard, right? And like that. That's what I've told them, to keep me there, right? And they put me, and they say that you are not this, you're not the one who's going to doubt yourself. You're not this person. You have to find a way. And the way I found was to recontextualize the situation, and that's what I do, which is, I think, a very powerful technique. To whatever the situation is, you try to see that first, what is the worst that can happen to you in that. And if that happens, so what? So what? You just say, so what? That's the name of my friend from Kolkata. You
So,
just say, if this worst thing happens, so what? Okay, I lose a bunch of money. So what?
yeah.
I lose some relationship. I lose a person in my life. So what?
Mm.
You know, that's one part of it. Second part of it is, you try to focus on the positive side of what you want, because where your attention goes, your energy flows there. So if you are giving in negative energy to a thing that's happening in your life, and you're giving it that energy, only that is going to amplify. But if you try to give some positive energy, and if you change your perspective, and if you assign a positive meaning to it, suddenly, things start to change. So another thing that I do is, I uh, put all my attention into the things that I want, and not on the things that I don't want. These are the two simple ways I do, in which I kind of, take myself out of from a negative place to a positive one.
That's very nice. I think I definitely agree with you that we should look at things in a different way and observe our emotions from far. That okay, this emotion is not me. So that's a very powerful trick. I have a question here. How does people that we surround ourselves with
Mhm.
impact our mood, our energy? Uh, so, how can we observe our surroundings and maybe make a change in the surroundings, the
Mm,
people that we hang out with,
mm,
to make a shift in our
mm,
lives?
mm. Priyanka, that's a great area that you touched upon, because also, I think, a little underrated area, because people focus on themselves and the work that they do outside and inside, but they don't. It's an external work, to surround yourself with the right kind of people, because there is a very famous saying that you are the average of the uh, 5 people or 10 people you hang out with. You hang out with a bunch of complainers. Guess what? You're going to be one. If you hang out with a bunch of people who are positive, and who talk about ideas and not talk about people, guess what? You'll stop talking about people, and you will talk about ideas, right? So the surrounding is very nice. I feel that we must have 4 or 5 people who really knows us, who understands us, who are not judging us of anything, and they just wants the best of us, right? These kind of people we should have. There are people who don't have this intention, or who don't have this capacity to play this role with you, and it's okay, right? But if there are people who you look up to, who you have mentors, you know if you're the person in your group who is always giving advice, I think it's time to look for a new group, because I feel that you should not be the smartest person in the group. The people around you should be way more smarter than you. They should be ahead of you. They should inspire you. They should be somebody who you can look up to. That's a great space for growth. But if you're always giving to a to people, right, you can have that circle as well, right, because your team sometimes needs you to lead them, right, and it's important. But your core circle, which drives you in your life, that has to have strong powerful people. And when that happens, uh, the moments when you feel low or when you doubt yourself, those moments, they can remind you of who you truly are, right? Because the point is that we forget who we are. We really forget who we are. We are really powerful than we think, right? And sometimes people have to come and remind us. Sometimes situations remind us, right? Sometimes a lady who had a baby and who was unable to deliver, and she was almost at the doors of the death, and she endured so much pain that she delivered the baby in the car,
Hmm.
and she was able to. So many times we don't know what strength we have, many times we don't know what mental strength we have. So if there are people who can help us tap into that space, it's a great way to hack your way out from the lower vibration to a higher vibration, I think.
Okay, so you mean everybody has unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
They can do whatever they want to do in their lives.
Absolutely.
So where does it start from? So somebody who is hopeless, somebody who is feeling really down in their lives, they won't see the life this way. Maybe their perspective won't be this, that we should look life in a very positive manner, or oh, I have a lot of potential, I can do whatever. Where does that change start from, like small to big? What are some steps that somebody can take to really reach there?
See, it's a great question, and it's a broad stroke that you did. We can go in so many directions, but the first basic space that we can start when we are lost or when we don't know what to do is, I think, seeking help. That's the most simplest way. The place where we are, the society we live in, it tells us that it's not good to be vulnerable. It's not good to open up and ask for help.
Yeah.
Everybody is vulnerable. Everybody has the capacity to really feel themselves truly and accept it and acknowledge it and say this to somebody. It's a funny example, like, imagine, like, you go to a gym, right, and there is this big guy, like a super big guy, who is bench pressing like 200 kgs, and who is like the symbol of macho man, and he cannot break down, he can never cry, and he's like this crazy guy, like he's there. If I point a gun at him and if I shoot him,
Hmm.
that's it, light out for him.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter what capacity or who you are or what role you are playing. The biggest leaders in the world are vulnerable. The biggest guy in the room is vulnerable. The smartest guy who thinks he's the smartest, he's vulnerable.
Hmm.
We need to tap into that space fully so that we can open up more, right? So coming back to the initial thing, that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. So if you are really in a place where you're lost and you don't know what to do about it, there is no way that you can do something from that space to come out of it, right? The problem cannot be solved at the same place where it was created. It's a quote by Albert Einstein, right? So a good way is to find somebody who can help you. So finding a coach or a therapist or a mentor, these kind of figures can actually help you see a bigger perspective. Probably you're lacking skills, probably you're lacking experience, probably you're lacking mindset, probably you're lacking physical ability, right? uh, these kind of people can come and help you see that. These kind of people can help you unlock those areas, because everything happens from the mind. Everything begins from the mind, you know and a lot of things you can uh, figure out in your life or transform in your life by making mindset shifts, big shifts or small shifts. That's the area I help people with. You know, um, life coaching is like a bigger area, right? But when you go and you can be a business coach, you can be a health coach, you can be a spiritual coach. I work with mindset and movement. I help people with tapping into their blocks, tapping into things that limit them, completely dismantling them, moving into a higher space. That's what I'm passionate about, not just with mindset, but with also movement. So, yeah, so I think looking for help is a great way to start. If you can, if you have the capacity and ability to do it by yourself, in today's world where we live, if you really want to change, there are just unlimited resources that you can tap into and change. But I understand when you are in a certain space, it's hard to find motivation to come out of it, because you're playing this role so deeply that, oh, this thing happened to me, I'm a victim, or my relationship is not going good, or something is, my business is at loss. Like, we are playing characters all the time, and we are deeply playing that character, right? So sometimes we have to find ways to come out of the character, right? Let your steering in somebody else's hand, let's say your mentor, your therapist or a coach or something, and they can give you a lot of insights, and from there your work starts. And from there you'll probably know that, oh, there are 100 things that, maybe there are 10 things that you need to work on in your life, right? Which you have never worked on, or which you never focused, or you never knew that they existed, right? And you tap into these areas, you go head on all these areas. Within a span of few years, you will see that you are a new person, right? But it needs work, it needs commitment, it needs to mm, move a little bit out of your comfort zone, right? If you're always in your comfort zone, and if you don't want to stretch or extend, and as soon as you face the first discomfort, you feel like you change the story, and you say that, it's this, yeah, I mean, why do I even do this? Like, is it even worth it? Like, and then you back. That's the mechanism of the, how can I say, that's the mechanism of the devil, if I say, to keep you stuck in homeostasis, in single dimension. So yeah.
So you spoke about getting out of your comfort zone. So usually when people feel uncomfortable, they equate it with unhappiness, or they feel like, okay, maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I was better off in previous situation where things were going okay, they were nice. I didn't have to think so much. So is discomfort actually equal to unhappiness? And like how can people see discomfort differently?
So as we were saying earlier, that every time we are telling a story, every time we are buying into a story is what drives our life. When we say a certain story about ourselves in our life, we have to live up to that story, right? And we tend to create that kind of reality, right? So right now, if the story is that I'm lost, I'm stuck, and I don't have a way out, find a way to think of a different way of saying this story. How can you do you first of all, do you want to even come out of it, right? And probably the answer is yes, I want to come out of it. So observing the stories that you say, that's the number one space. Once you observe the story, if you can say a different story, that would be a great space to, for example, like if you are saying that, oh, this person left me, right? And I was in relationship for so many years, and this person left me, and I don't know like how to go about, and I feel sad and bad about it, right? So right now, if you notice, your energy is at a place where the energy feels that it is less. It will feel good when somebody else will join your life, or somebody else will come into your life, then it will feel good. That's what it equates it to. If you change this story a little bit, and if you just say that, let's say it's okay if a person has left my life, there is so many things that I can do in my life. I can find a better person. I can find somebody who actually aligns with me, and I have the ability to find that person, right? When you tap into these spaces, these are like very inspiring, empowering spaces where you put yourself up, where you put your self esteem up and say that I have the ability to do this, right? And from there, that's the beginning point where you can kind of move into something else, right? It is not really discomfort. It's we frame it as discomfort, but if you frame it as an opportunity to grow, then discomfort is powerful. Discomfort is really powerful. When you are growing physically in your body, you have discomfort when you go and hit dumbbell press, right? When you learn a new language, you have discomfort. When you learn to drive, you have discomfort. But once you learn it, it becomes easy for you. So, what's easy for you right now is to stay at your place and keep blaming your situation and keep blaming your circumstances and say that these are the problems in my life and these are the reasons I can't move forward. But if you can kind of say that, okay, here I am, I'm right here. Now what? Now what I do? How can I move out of it? First thing, as I said, if you can take help, take a help, right? Um, if you can rewire your language, that's a small, very quick thing that you can do. You just rewire your language. Observe what kind of language you're using. If you're using things like, oh, this thing is happening to me, it's not good, I'm not feeling great, I feel sad because this happened. See, you're using your language to create more lack. You have to use your language. One technique that I use with people is where we say that, okay, you if you feel that, oh, I'm not good enough, use the term yet. Yet. Say, I'm not good enough yet, I'm willing to work on it. This person left, yet I'm going to keep looking for the person that aligns with me. I am in this situation. Yet I'm going to go ahead and come out of it and make it better. So suddenly you switch your language. Language is very powerful. So being aware is very important. If you're very aware, if you become more aware in your day life, your language, your belief system, your patterns, what keeps you stuck. People stay in a certain paradigm and they get locked in paradigms, ways of thinking, ways of being, ways of believing about ideas. They get locked in there. So we have to find ways to come out of these paradigms. Once we are able to come out of these paradigms, things open up a lot. That's where, as I said, additional help comes. A coach can come and help you to really break down these things for you, what your limiting beliefs are, what your language patterns are, what your beliefs are which keep you stuck, right? So these are some of the ways. So I think, don't think of discomfort as bad. Discomfort is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. When discomfort arises, that's the first clue for you that, okay, this is the area I need to level up. When somebody triggers you and you feel triggered, that is the clue that that is the area which needs work.
This was really helpful. So now I really hope that even if one person who is watching this episode out of uh, a number of people, if they shift their mindset to that discomfort is doesn't equate to unhappiness, it's in fact a good sign that things are changing. I think I'll be very happy. So another thing that I've often like I used to do it myself, and I have often observed in people um, that we compare our lives with others. So what we have lost, whatever we have lost, we'll always feel like other person has it. So for example, if I lost my job, then I'll be like, oh, but people are getting promoted. If I lose my partner, or if I have a breakup, then I'll be like, oh, but others are getting married at such an early age, they're having beautiful partnerships. And this entire social media world also keeps you very, very engaged with other people's lives. So how can you really stay, like, keep that distance from comparing your life with others? How can you shift that mindset?
Comparison is a bitch.
Hmm. Yeah.
If I just simply put it, it's one of the negative habit patterns that we get stuck in, because our sense of self comes from, for many people, our sense of self comes from outside, and we wait for something on the outside to give us the approval to know that we are enough, be it a social media, or be it comments, or be it a status, or be it an award, be it a lot of followers, be it a certain relationship. Because of that, I feel that we end up in this space of comparing our lives with somebody else. We say that, okay, if he's it's good when it is done in a very healthy way, because this thing has a comparison also has a pinch of a positive side to it as well, right? It's not just all negative, like, mm, comparison can be used, that you can say that, okay, my contemporary person, whoever my contemporary is, they are doing so much. What is stopping me from doing it? It gives me a healthy space to get back up, pull up my socks, and work towards what needs to be worked. There is a positive side to that also. But um, mostly it comes from the fact that we don't have a sense of self, of from within ourselves. We don't know who we truly are. When you know that you who you truly are, then you don't need anybody else, you don't need anybody's approval, you don't need to look at anybody to compare your life, because you will know that everybody is on a very unique journey. Everybody is on a very unique and special journey. It would be very unfair to compare your third chapter with somebody's 30th chapter, right? um, they might have so many different experiences different than you. You might have so many different strengths and skills apart from them, right? You're just focusing on one little thing, and we kind of limit ourselves. It's a great way to limit ourselves, I must say, because um, if you don't compare, and if you just say that, okay, I have all these different kind of people around me who are doing great things in different things, what do I want to do? Okay, I want to focus on this is the area I want to work on. So then the psyche is like, okay, let me start comparing in that area with somebody else, right? So you connect with your uniqueness, you connect with your divineness, you connect with your special person that you are. When you connect to that, and when you tap into your strengths, and when you tap into your purpose, by default, the attitude in this energy space is that you don't care about other people. You don't worry about other people. Let me put it that way. You
Hmm.
probably care about other people, but you don't worry about them, that, oh, because of them something can happen to me, or I'm less or more. No, that's unique. They are living their life. I'm living my life. I'm going to do it my way. And that's a great way to really, I think, break free of comparison, to really know who you truly are, what your strengths are, what you can do. One thing I can say is that sometimes people have this habit of always taking help from somebody to do something, right? Because they don't truly believe that they can fully do it, right? So sometimes it's good to just do things by yourself without asking anybody. Take your own decisions. It doesn't matter where the decision takes you.
No.
It can be a dark alley, it can be on the top of the mountain, but you take it, you take responsibility for that, and you move forward. That's how you build trust in yourself. That's how you open up a little bit to your authentic self. And when you have more trust in yourself, when you have more trust with that authentic self, and when you connect with that often, or let's say in a span of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you work on yourself and you become a different person. Earlier you were struggling for money, but you worked, and you have a lot of it right now. Suddenly, uh, you'll realize that Why am I even comparing my life with somebody else? You know, I'm very unique in my own ways and abilities, and that's what you should focus on building rather than comparing with others. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea.
A lot of people do not even know what's their purpose in life. Do you think everybody has a purpose in life? And how can they realize what is their purpose in
Hmm.
life and move towards that?
It's a beautiful question. It's a question that people have been trying to find answers to from ages.
Yeah.
And I think for every single person, they are on an individual journey to find that. So, what I feel about it, I feel that everybody has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. If you see, the lights have a purpose, the mic has a purpose, this chair has a purpose, the watch in my hand has a purpose. So, human beings, of course, they have purpose. They are powerful spiritual beings who come in this earth space, three-dimension reality, and they live and they forget what their purpose is.
Hmm.
But everybody has one. How to connect with that is a very simple way is to connect with the things that you really love. Look inside yourself. What is the thing that your spirit or soul or whatever, like, what is that thing that what are you really passionate about? What is that thing that you would like to do in the world? Doesn't keep it aside that, oh, is it possible, or when it is possible, don't worry about none of that.
Hmm.
What is that? To focus on that, you will find few ideas. um, Try to give every idea some time, few years, and see which idea it is. This is for somebody who is not sure for nothing. But if for some people they say that, oh, um, I like to dance. Somebody says, oh, I like to do some engineering. Somebody says, I like to do design work. I really like carpentry. Somebody says, I really like agriculture, right? Somebody says, oh, I just like to sleep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Somebody says, I want to be an actor, right? So there is no one fixed formula of this can be purpose and this cannot be purpose. It can be anything. It can be anything. Whatever you are called to truly from within, whatever you feel called um, uh, towards, that can be your thing. That can be your purpose. There's a very famous Japanese technique called ikigai. If you see that, it can actually help you find clarity in your purpose, what you're good at, what can you be paid for, what the world needs, right? And one more thing, and you put them all together and see, journal in your life and see, like, what is that thing that I'm really good at, what is the thing that the world might need, what is the thing that I can be paid for, right? You focus on these areas, some things come out. You have to take that direction. In India, if you notice, like a lot of people, especially like my parents' generation, like they have this way that, oh, there are just conventional ways of doing and professions, right? So you can be a doctor or an engineer or XYZ or army. You can be whatever. You want to do skydiving, go do skydiving. You want to just go to beer billing and do parasailing. That could be your purpose. Let not the world stop you from saying that something that pays you more is what uh, your purpose is. But I understand that everybody wants to get paid. But if you the idea of money and the idea of being paid is something else. It's not really career. It's about how passionately you can do it. A thing which is a work for somebody else, if you can do it as if it is not a work at all, there you are finding ease in doing that work. When you do things with ease, then creative energy flows. Higher ideas come to you. You become better. You find and you move towards ideas which inspire you. But if your vessel is small, or probably if your capacity to channel anything higher is less, so then you will look for evidence outside and you will say that, okay, this is a great profession, let me go take that. That is a great profession, let me take that. What is your purpose? I have no idea what my purpose is. I know what my profession is. I know what gives me money, but I don't know what my heart is. So sometimes people have to get brutally honest to themselves that who they are and what they really want to do. A lot of society kind of puts a limit on what you can do and what you cannot do. If they suddenly see you hear you say that, oh, I want to do this profession, they would be like, no, this is not a right profession. When YouTube came, people said that YouTube is not a profession. What you're going to do? You're going to make videos, and then who's going to see it? This was the reaction. But today YouTube is one of the highly paid career options, right? So you might never know that you're connecting with yourself and tapping into your passion can create a new niche in the world, which is the highest paid probably. So don't worry about being paid. If you can if you can do something with love, if you can do something with passion, if you do something that you really like to the best of your ability till the point that you can't do it anymore, that's what you need to do. One of my teachers, Bashar, he is a channel, and I studied this from him, where he talks about how um, you connect with your passion, do it with the best of your ability, without no insistence on how it should be, till the point you can't take it any further, and that's your job. That's your job. You don't need to think about how it will happen. The road can be big or it can be small. You don't know. Forget about the how. The how will appear. The way it will appear is when you will, do the when you will change yourself, when you will get on this journey of tapping into higher spaces, or tapping into, when I say higher space, I just mean like a better version of yourself. When you tap into that, you have the wisdom, you have the ability to create. A lower wisdom is somebody saying that, oh, I'm not able to do it. A higher wisdom is that, we will find a way, we can make it happen. And when you act from that space, things happen, things work out. So yeah.